So, okay, the recording's now on, so we are now live. If it's okay with you, I'm going to share my screen and just take you through Death by PowerPoint. It won't be that long, I promise, but just a few slides to just kind of give a bit of an introduction of who we are and what we do. So if I go back to the beginning. So coming from a venue background, when I set up Unique Venues of Manchester, which was the first kind of that we set up, I was really keen that that we kind of really focused on, and my background's hotels, then into conference centres, then into unique venues. As independent venues or as unique venues, tended to find that didn't get necessarily as much support as maybe some of the large chains get, such as your Hiltons and your Marriotts, and we're competing quite heavily in a market that was very tough to compete in as an independent or a unique or unusual venue. And obviously, because we are generally always unique and alternative, we tend to have other priorities other than kind of selling our conference and event space. So for Paula, I guess it's for you, it's the football is a priority, but you know, conference and events is still a big commercial part of what we do. So for me, setting up unique venues, it was about trying to create support for unique and independent venues and help promote them to that. There was also that kind of whole approach in the fact that we could work together, that kind of stronger by having stronger voice by being more of us. So that collaborative approach and having a bit of a voice within our industry, so that we're not just each individual, but we're, you know, stronger together type of approach. And very much, you know, working alongside, you know, ultimately what we're doing is not only selling our venues, but we're also selling the destination, you know, for Unique Venue Manchester, it's Manchester, for Leeds, Newcastle, Birmingham, wherever you are, we obviously want to attract that business to that location. So very much work alongside try to work alongside the tourist boards. So in particular, the one that we work really well with is Conference Leeds, and we have regular monthly meetings with those guys. So it's a very much, again, a collaborative approach, even with those. So we're not trying to compete against them, even though, you know, it's separate membership, as it were. A little brief history about us. So as you can probably tell from my accent, I'm not from Manchester originally. I am a dodgy southerner. I am a London boy, and I worked in a number of venues in London, and in particular one called Vinopolis, if anyone knows of Vinopolis in London. But I was a member of Unique Venues of London back then. So then in 2002, I moved up to Manchester. I was like, looked for the equivalent, there wasn't one. So I think it was 2008 I decided to buy the domain name Unique Venues of Manchester, and then at the same time I decided to buy a whole load of other cities with Unique Venues of and the city name, and I've now got 34 cities and regions across the UK, including obviously Unique Venues of Great Britain. So in 2003, I finally managed to convince 6 venues to help me set up Unique Venues of Manchester. And that's where we started, with literally just the 6 of us. And the first priority for us was to build the website, which was the website that was live. We've got the new website now, but and we kind of started to grow from there. Obviously, pre-COVID, we were up to just under 40 members across Manchester. So we also, as part of the development of the group, we started to incorporate hotels, because even though we're in competition with them as unique venues and individual venues, because we don't have accommodation on site generally, therefore we wanted to partner up with them and still maintain that collaboration. So they're listed slightly separately. They have their own kind of listing on each city site, but it was one thing that we started to develop. So that includes the hotel partners. We kind of grew naturally in the fact that we very much listen to the membership and ask what their needs are and what their requirements are. And one of the kind of areas that people were really keen to do was trying to attend the large industry exhibitions. And in 2016, we took our first stand partners to CHS, which is the Conference and Hospitality Show based in Leeds. And we started with, I think there was 3 partners that came along in our first year. Roll forward to 2020, which obviously didn't happen. We were due to take 9 partners from Manchester along to CHS. So we've kind of grown that. Again, it was a way of helping to reduce the cost to attend that exhibition for the members by splitting the cost by the number of partners. So very simple process. So to give an example, to exhibit at Leeds, I think is somewhere in the region of about £1,500 to £2,000 for a 3 metre by 2 metre stand, and we managed to reduce that cost to our partners down to about £600. So just a more economical way of attending the event. Obviously, it is a stand share, so there's multiple partners on the stand, but a way of doing that, and that came from demand from the membership in what they wanted to do. One of the other aspects that that we then developed and launched in 2018, which again came from membership, saying there wasn't a industry event or expo in Manchester, so it'd be good to have one. So we did. We created our own expo and hosted our first one in 2018. Again, we tried to minimize cost as much as possible. So we had, I think around the first year, we had around about 30 venues on board, and we had about 100 to 120 event planners came to the event. And it was kind of very much a tabletop style expo with some entertainment and refreshments and so on and so forth. Roll forward again to 2020, we were due to have our 3rd year of doing it. Unfortunately, again, COVID came along, so we delivered a hybrid version of the expo in 2020. So, but I'll come on to a bit more about that in the presentation. And then the following year, Unique Venues of Leeds was launched. And again, strange enough, we started with 6 venues in Leeds and have got that up and running. And again, I'll roll forward to 2020, we were due to launch Liverpool, and unfortunately COVID came along and closed all the venues. So, but we're now, as I say, in the process of kind of rebuilding the websites and going, as we feel that things are starting to reopen, going back out there again. So roll forward to 2021, this is where we are now. So our plan is, obviously Manchester, Leeds and Liverpool were built, but we've decided to rebuild the site. So we've redeveloped our Manchester site, and we're currently in the rebuild process for Leeds. And then we're going to be rolling out in Liverpool, Glasgow, Newcastle, Cardiff and Birmingham. The reason I've put Unique Venues of London in there and Unique Venues of Edinburgh, they are separate organisations. We know them, they know us, and we actively promote them as well as part of that brand under the banner of our Unique Venues of Great Britain. So Unique Venues of Great Britain is a site that we've built as well. It's the kind of parent site, and we see that as kind of the national profile, as where the individual cities are a more localised approach. So that's, I hope I explained that. These are some of the benefits that we've tried to ensure that come through as we help to try and promote you as a venue. We do a number of advertising and editorial to industry press and to try and promote Unique Venues of Great Britain and the individual cities. The websites enable us to generate inquiries, but we're very much, because we're a membership organisation and because we don't deal with the inquiries directly, what we want is those inquiries to come directly to you as venues. So everything that we do on the websites is trying to push the event planners directly to you. So on the site, you'll see there is a direct URL to your website. You have the email of your choice for any inquiries that come through. We also do capture some of some inquiries do come to us directly, and we simply work out which city it is related to, what the event is, and then we'll forward that inquiry onto those venues that could accommodate it. And then you guys as venues can contact that client directly. The national and regional coverage is, as I talked about, where the Great Britain is very much the national coverage and the regional coverage is very much the city focus. Talked about the stand partnerships at trade shows, talked about our hosted events. As well as that, we've done, certainly over lockdown, that's increased significantly. We've done a lot of networking events and educational events. For anyone's interested, little kind of pitch on, we've got another industry insights event next Wednesday at the same time, 3 o'clock. If you go onto our social media, you'll be able to find links to register for that if you're interested. We've got 4 great speakers attending. The focus is around kind of that, again, around that reopening approach, talking about health and safety in terms of event planning. We're talking about health and well-being in terms of individuals and staff. We're looking at, excuse me, difficult to say, sustainability and environmental impacts, and how that is so important within our industry moving forward. And the final one is technology and some of the other aspects on that side of things. So really incredible panel of people. If you're interested in attending, you won't have to listen to me. You've got people that really know what they're talking about on that side of things. Obviously, one of the other big aspects is our social media. We very much focus around the kind of, again, the national side is around unique venues of Great Britain, but we do have social media specific for the individual cities. So again, anything that we want to get to a more localized market on social media, we can push that out. Anything you want to get to a more global, national market, then we can push that out as well. So kind of two-sided on that. One of the directors that's not present with us today is a lovely lady called Becky Gibson, who is the marketing expert guru that is able to support what we do in terms of helping to promote you through press, through editorial, through advertising. And as I mentioned, as well as inquiries, we also have a data capture on the websites. And we have a growing database of event planners and organisers, PAs, EAs, corporate clients, and we can direct mail those clients as well. So hopefully it's a nice array of different aspects in terms of the benefits. Some of the other benefits we talked about, we have a number of partners that we work with. The way that we work with partners is very much that they need to provide a benefit to you as venues or to event organisers who visit the website. So that's the criteria of our partnership, and we've got some great partners that we work with. We do an awful lot of work with Google. Google are our kind of preferred aspect for SEO and pay-per-click. So we do a lot of pay-per-click to push and advertising to push our website up high on key search terms for around venues and venue hire. So on that side of things. And we've also kind of helped support venues on a consultancy basis. So we've worked with a number of venues recently. One in particular was around in London, was based around looking at their hybrid offer and how we could enhance their hybrid offer and how they could then market and sell their hybrid offer. So we're just working with, like I said, a venue in London on there. And on another side, it was their marketing support, and that was a venue in Manchester where we're looking at how better we can provide some more marketing support for them. So just another kind of string to the bow and support that we can give on that side. So moving on to the website, hopefully you may have seen our website, Unique Venues of Great Britain, but please feel free to go on it. The focus around here is kind of to direct people to the city sites, and we do have a search functionality on there. We also, any news and offers that you want us to help you promote or insights included in that. Again, this is based on our Great Britain site, but is also on each of the city sites. But the hosting site is our Great Britain site, as is our partners and suppliers. As I say, the filter, what that enables people to do is kind of choose the size of the event that they're looking for, the type of event they're looking for, and the city location. and then we'll take them to that particular city. That same search filter is also on each of the city sites as well. So if people come directly to the city site, that functionality is still there. So we've kind of tried to make sure there's lots of ways that we can get clients to find you on that side of things. I've mentioned these before, but we have inquiry capture and we also data capture so that we're building up our mailing list. And the nice thing is, by growing the number of city locations that we do have, it just helps us in terms of, again, our search engine optimization because we link all of our sites together. So we're becoming bigger and better, as it were. On the individual city sites, again, coming from my own experience of working as a venue, it was trying to find different people look for things in different ways. So we've kind of tried to come up with the most obvious ways that event planners and organizers would search for a venue. So on the site, people could search for you alphabetically if they know your name, again, by the event type and the number of attendees. There's a filter system in there and a comparison tool. If people are more interested in the location, they can search by location. We've created styles of venues. So it might be iconic / historic, or sporting, or entertainment. So as the Lowry, we're being a theatre, we're under the entertainment style of bracket. So, and people can then choose the style of venue and shows on a map. So if you get to have a look at that at some point. And then just a very simple using imagery as a carousel to browse through images and the venues. And all of those basically will enable someone searching to get to your venue. So then you have your individual venue page, which holds all your information. On that venue page, you'll have a carousel of images. We hold up to 9 images on the carousel. We have a capacity chart. And as I said, probably the key aspect is the fact we have lots of ways for them to contact you directly. So the website link, the email link, as well as having big buttons on there, we write it down for them as well. So there's no confusion for you to be able to kind of them to not be able to get through to you. One of the recent features we've added on there is some features and facility symbols as well. A lot of kind of search are now looking around sustainability of venues, around the COVID safe. So we've kind of suggested to all of our venues to join the We're Good to Go by Visit Britain. If you haven't, it would be a strong recommendation because it's a really good platform and it's to make sure that you are kind of ticking the box of saying that you are COVID safe, and it's free, yeah, which is kind of the key side of it. So again, looking at those sides. One of the advancements I think in our industry that's going to be happening, or if not has already happened, if I'm honest, is around live availability. A number of venues that we've been speaking to now are starting to have their own live availability of their rooms. We've created a button that if you have that live availability will link to your availability. So if you have a system that show that you're able to put onto your own website or on a host website which shows your availability, we now put a button on there that will help link that through on that side of things. So hopefully plenty of detail, enough detail that any event inquiry would be able to see your venue and be happy. If they're not, then they should be able to go to your website and be very, very happy. So I talked briefly about the webinars that we do. You know, a lot of it is around, these are the 2 recent ones we held back in March, and just around kind of areas that are of interest to venues and to really help support venues. We've got some, like I say, we generally have them planned in advance, so and give you some heads up as members about being able to join those. Obviously, when we get back to a little bit of normality, they'll be able to be in-person events rather than virtual. So we won't have to put up with Zoom. We can actually engage with colleagues from other venues in a nice surrounding with a bit of luck and a drink to boot with a bit of luck. I talked about stand partnerships. This is just to kind of show the kind of size of stand that we had booked for 2020, which will be happening in April 2022. So those same partners will be attending in 2022 as the show's been delayed. We've considered, I've been asked about the meeting show, so we kind of were in early discussions around possibly looking at the meeting show and taking partners to there. And, you know, but if there is, you know, a group of venues that are interested, we're absolutely happy to help and try and put that together for you. I talked about the expo that we did, and that in 2020 we did a virtual or a hybrid expo. It was on the 1st of October, which was, if you remember last year, the 1st of October was supposed to be the reopening day. Obviously that got delayed, but we were still able to go ahead. We had 30 live attendees and then just under 270 virtual attendees. We used a hybrid platform to deliver that, and that came from Greater Manchester Chamber conference space, and we had a technical team there that helped us to deliver that. We had 18 speakers, some international, some were live, some ended up having to isolate the day before they were due to attend the event, so we got them on a Zoom call and zoomed them in. So it was quite a feat of what we did, and we had live venues in the venue exhibiting, as well as virtual ones exhibiting as well. So it really was a real hybrid example, and that's what we kind of did it for. We are going to be doing an Expo 2021. Unfortunately, I can't give you too much information away, but just to say that we're going bigger and better in 2021, and you know, we open, and this is very much open to members only, these expos, and hopefully if you guys consider membership, I can tell you a lot more information about Expo 2021, but we're just to say we're very excited about what potentially we're going to deliver. I genuinely believe it's not been done before, so yeah, I'll hopefully be able, you'll hear about it soon on that side of things. I talked about some of the partners we worked with. These are example of some of the partners we work with. Just some examples. Green Gauge is the sustainability organisation we work with. Bright Space events do a lot of work in terms of event health and safety, particularly around COVID. Reattendance is a hybrid software that we would recommend because we've used it. Ivy is a booking system software that has live availability. So lots of things that really, again, designed to help support you as venues, or that you can they can also work with you in order to help you. Hopefully I've gone through everything that we kind of offer. There's a quick summary of everything that we can kind of provide. And there you see, we're an annualized membership fee. We don't take commission on any bookings that we refer to you. It is purely the annual membership fee. Certain aspects we do charge additionally for, such as the trade show stand partnerships, because obviously that's a separate cost, and the expo again is also a separate cost, as is, if depending on the level of consultancy you want us to provide, again there might be some extra cost involved in that. But other than that, the annual membership fee is the only fee that you pay at £400 a year. As I mentioned, we have a slightly reduced one, which is specifically for hotels, bars and restaurants. They don't get the level of coverage, and they don't have a dedicated page, hence they're a slightly reduced rate on there. This is us, this is the three of us, myself, Becky and Jill are the team. Obviously, if you have any questions at all, you can drop us an email or get in touch with us. I'm sure Jill will be probably following up with you afterwards anyway, but if you do need it, have any questions that you don't want to ask today, then you can contact us this way. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and actually ask Nathan, if he is available, to perhaps just say, as a member, you know, what advantages have you found by being a member?
Yeah, so I mean, all the ones you'd expect. I think the events that we've held, the exhibitions, the expos that we've done, have always been really positive. You know, even though you know, you're not necessarily at Manchester Central or a big exhibition centre, it works better. So there's always a constant thrush of people coming through, but not too many people. And we picked up some fantastic leads from the events. So from the sort of business generation side of things, I've had a really, we as a venue have had a really positive experience. But also there's the whole sort of collaborating with other venues and learning about the sort of what the industry's doing and trying to stay, because as an independent venue, you're often sort of can be lagging behind, you know, in terms of what you have access to. And the biggest thing there, I think, working with Matthew and the team, is that we as a smaller independent venue have been able to really keep up with everything that's changed during COVID. And I would say that Unique Venues has been a big part of that. So yes, the business development side of things, revenue generation, which is really important, it's been positive. But even more important, I think, has been the you know, the access to all the, you know, the suppliers, Matthew, understanding the changes in what's going on out there in the market. So it's been a really positive experience for us, and I would recommend it.
Fabulous. Thank you very much.
I can second that as well, having worked for an independent venue before. I attended a few expos, actually, Matthew. I attended the one in the Lowry, and I was a stand shared with you at CHS, and I was virtually at the expo in October, which was fantastic. And you know, I got some good contacts, some very, very good contacts. Hence the reason why I've joined, because I actually believe in it, having witnessed it firsthand.
Fab, cool. Thank you. Yeah. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight. I'm going to stop the recording. So